All right, today we're going to dive into something really exciting, a brand new vision for XOOPS. And trust me, this isn't just a minor update. We're talking about a fundamental shift in how we think about and build modules.
So let me just start with a question. What if you could build a really complex module, not in days, but in a matter of hours? And what if the code you wrote was actually, well, a joy to work with? That's the promise behind what we're calling Vision 2026.
But, to really get why this is such a big deal, we have to take a quick look back. Let's talk about the challenges and, let's be honest, the pain points that a lot of us have been dealing with for years.
And this quote it hits the nail on the head, right? The old way of doing things worked, sure. But as soon as your project started getting bigger, things will get tangled up, brittle, and just plain hard to maintain.
Okay, so this table really lays it all out. Just look at that traditional column for a second. Validation logic is all over the place. Database calls can happen literally anywhere. And testing? Forget about it. It's a massive chore. But then you look over at the Vision 2026 side and it's the total opposite. Everything is centralized, isolated, and totally independent.
And here's what that looks like in the real world. This is that classic submit.php file that I'm sure you've seen a million times. You've got validation logic, business rules, and database queries all mixed together in one giant file. It's a house of cards just waiting to fall over.
So that's the problem. How do we fix it? Well, that's where Vision 2026 comes in. And it's so much more than just a new way to organize your files. It's a whole new philosophy, really, built on modern software principles that are proven to work.
The whole thing is built on this really powerful concept called clean architecture. The key idea is simple. Your most important code, your business logic, what we call the domain, sits right at the center, completely protected. It doesn't know about XOS, it doesn't know about the database, it knows nothing about the outside world. And that makes it pure, portable, and incredibly easy to test.
So it all boils down to these four main principles. We just talked about putting the domain at the center. Then there's dependency inversion, which sounds complicated, but all it means is that our core logic doesn't depend on the framework. The framework depends on our core logic. It flips the script. And we're also going to see how value objects and events make our code way safer and more flexible. Let's talk about value objects for a second, because this is so cool. The old way, a title is just a string, right? It could be empty, it could be way too long, whatever. But in the new way, we create an article title object. And the second you create it, you know it's valid. It's impossible to create one with bad data. This just wipes out an entire category of bugs from the get-go. Okay, theory is one thing, but let's actually see it in action. This is where the light bulb really goes on when you see the old way and the new way right next to each other. So on the left, there's our old friend, the massive submit.php file, trying to do everything at once. But now, look at the right. See how clean that separation is? The controller just bundles up the request into a simple command and then hands it off to a dedicated handler class that has one single job. It's so much easier to read and understand. And what about validation? On the left, it's that nightmare we've all lived through, copying and pasting the same if statements all over the place, hoping you don't miss one. On the right, the logic lives in exactly one place, inside the article title object. If you need to change the rule, you change it there, and it's fixed everywhere, instantly. And this, for me, is the ultimate payoff: testing. The old way was so slow and complicated that, let's be real, a lot of us just skipped it. But the new way? Look at that test on the right. It's just pure PHP, no XOOPS, no database needed. It runs in the blink of an eye. This is an absolute game changer for writing high-quality, reliable code. So you can see, this is way bigger than just writing one clean module. It's about creating an entire modern ecosystem that helps every developer build better and faster.
And if you need one number that sums up the impact, this is it: 30 minutes. The time it takes to create a basic working module can drop from a few days down to under an hour. That is a massive, massive leap in productivity.
So how is that even possible? Through modern tooling. That's how. Imagine just popping open your terminal and typing a command to generate a whole new module. Then another command to create an entity, like a post, and poof, all the files, including the tests, are created for you. And then you can run those tests immediately. It's a completely different developer experience.
And the reason it's so fast is that you're not starting from zero every time. The whole system is powered by these reusable packages. So instead of rebuilding how a repository works, for instance, you just pull in a battle-tested component. This lets you focus on what actually makes your module special. Okay, so we've walked through the vision, we've seen the huge benefits, we've looked at the tools. So what's next? How can you actually get started and be a part of this?
It's actually really simple. The first thing you can do is head over to the GitHub repo and give it a star. That helps a ton with visibility. Then download the module and just try it out for yourself. And most importantly, share your thoughts and your feedback. That's how this whole thing gets even better. So look, the big takeaway here is that this isn't some abstract idea for the distant future. The tools and patterns for building faster, more reliable, and just plain better modules are here right now. They're ready to go. So the only real question left is, what are you going to build with it?